Devil's Workshop number 8, March 31st. I am basically, the only thing I really have to say is that I haven't been able to do much in terms of having something to show you completed since the last time I did one of these like a month ago. And I'm at this weird point where it's like I want to get heat, and yeah, I could just call a power company and turn the heat on or something like that, but it's like I want to get heat off the grid using electricity from the day, which is free, instead of electricity at night from batteries, which is expensive. And it's like I keep running into bigger problems than I was expecting. And if I did the math early on, I probably could have just figured that one out, but I didn't. So here I am. So the big problems that I'm running into is that on cloudy days, which is the days you probably more likely want heat, so you have to manage. You can't just, the way I have the heater set up is that I'm going to use hot water to heat up brick, and that takes a lot of electricity to heat up the hot water. And if a bunch of clouds roll in for an hour, that's going to drain my batteries if I have a bunch of electrical hot water heaters running on this system. So one, I needed more power just to be able to handle some of the clouds. And then I needed a system to be able to manage all of this extra electricity. And I didn't want to be running around looking and waiting to see if there's a cloud in the sky, and all of a sudden I got to turn everything off and worry about all these alarms and do some math, and oh my God, now I have to stop making bread or whatever. It's like I have something on and it's going to be too much power. So I wanted a system that's going to manage all of this. So the idea that I had for that was that I'm going to have a web application running on an internal web server, and that's going to have cameras monitoring the different things, like monitoring energy usage, monitoring the voltage, monitoring the energy from the panels, these guys up here. And as a proof of concept, I just wanted to get it such that it would take pictures of the voltage and the energy usage and put it on a web app so that I didn't have to go into the garage and keep checking it. And that was like my first, like, yes, I'm going to get this done. And then once I get that done, I will be able to do the heaters, because that'll be easy to manage this stuff. And just getting to that point was actually not like a monumental task, but there was a lot of work there. Like I didn't want to just create a web app that I was going to throw away. I wanted to create one that's going to also help me manage these things in the future and was going to be scalable. So I created, and this is not going to make a lot of sense unless you're a software person, but it's like I created a little persistence layer, I created a little servlet container, and then a UI thing, and I linked them all together, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all I really have to show for that is this one. It's like, great, there's a simple web page that shows a picture of a voltmeter. Like, that doesn't really do anything, but it's like that proof of concept was a big step, and that took a couple weeks to get to that point. And then to make it such that I can use the same UI widgets over and over again as I expand this web app to do more of the stuff for this project. I want to make it so that I'm not doing all this throwaway code. So that's what I've been doing for the last month. And it's like I don't really have anything to show for it other than the start of a web app, and I've moved some solar panels around, and I started creating the heater. I think I'm going to actually be able to turn it on today. I need to go to the store and get more pipes. Got the wrong size. Always. But even once I get the heater working and the proof of concept going, I still need another row of these solar panels up here, and I need to move these a little bit further that way to get morning sun. I found that I want some panels aimed at the mountains where the sun rises over here so that I can get morning sun, and then on the flip side, the sun sets currently straight out that way. So it's like I want panels angled that way. And when you have the panels angled in different directions, they need to be on different charge controllers, otherwise they start conflicting. So it's like I kind of have to start adding all those things in. You can see these, they're sitting on these concrete blocks, which is not stable at all. So I need to update the stands and make them better. So what that's for is in the winter, the sun is super low on the horizon, but now it's like almost nearly straight up. So it's like I want to move the panel. So it's like I got all this work to do just to get the heater going, and I thought that was going to be kind of an easier step than it was, but kind of learning as I go. So I'm actually really happy with my lack of progress, because I feel like all of these things are just going to make it that much easier for me in the future. So the fact that I have a web app that's going to parse text from an LCD screen makes it that much easier if I want to have this web app monitor like water temperature or condensation, because I have that machine that pulls water out of the air, and when you decide to turn that on is a decision basically on how much extra energy you have from the sun, or do you need it to create heat. So all of that will be easier to manage once I have this kind of generic web application running that is set up initially right the first time. So that's what I did the last month. Not a whole lot, but at the same time, I'm actually pretty stoked on all of that lack of progress. Thanks for your time. Love you all.